Warm good evening to all of you doctors and colleagues who have logged into this wonderful evening of differential treats which comes to you from Telplus, which is releasing the academic fees. So it comes to you from Kasian One. We take pleasure, doctors, in inviting you to the insightful webinar series on financial management insights for exclusively for healthcare practitioners like you. Without standing in between you and the expert doctor, before we move forward and hand over the session to the financial expert, we would like to happily share with you the background of the organization called Microlabs. Microlabs has been established in the year 1973. We have recently completed our 50 years of golden jubilee last year, 6 months back. We are one of the top 20 companies in pharma, and we have 22 specialty division covering almost covering across the country from Kashmir to Kanyakumari with 6,000 dedicated field force. When you talk about quality, we have a world-class manufacturing plants, 14 world-class manufacturing plant, which has got all the necessary global approval like US FDA, UK MHRA, Health Canada, WHO, TG Australia, and MedCert New Zealand, with 2,000 qualified technical personnel available at our service to give you the quality brands from Microlabs house. We have vibrant presence in more than 50 countries. We export formulations and active pharmaceutical ingredient to all major therapy segments across the globe. We have dedicated 3 R&D centers with more than 400 experienced scientists available. And also on the philanthropic side, we have GDA Foundation, which runs the Surana College and Surana PG Center in the Bangalore. And the other aspect of trust, we have Surana Charitable Trust, which runs Sri Pashwa Sushildam, our own temple, and there is one Sushwani Matadam, 2 magnificent temples in Bangalore. So with this, we take you to the most important discussion point, which gave us the setting for today's webinar, doctors. Actually, this is a series where we have moved beyond medical and talk about the financial coaching aspects, what you would like to know. Doctor, it's surprising for us because as per a recent study published in one of the peer-reviewed journals says that only 34% basic understanding on the financial literacy which you would like to have. As being a KOL and the doctor, you know many things when it comes to medical field and HCP, which we needed to say because you are the expert. When it comes to financial understanding, I think this study gave an alarming signal. Then what we did is multiple finance related queries exist even to the best clinicians. So what is the need of the hour we felt is it is a guidance from an financial expert. So what we did is, doctor, we are proud to say that under Telplus banner from Micro Carcian One, we have joined hands with MFA Capital and a financial expert firm who is going to guide us on the financial advisors and financial security for exclusively for HCP. So this is a very interesting aspect which we talk about here. Now, under this Dr. Telplus treats the financial management insight for HCPs, we are going to split it into 3 volume of event. In the sense, there will be 3 editions of webinar starting from this inaugural edition. We are going to have it. The first one, today we are going to talk about is financial planning at different stages in a doctor's life. That is what right now we have logged in. Then the next edition in the month of October is another interesting aspect, which is, are you chained to the chair? That is retirement planning for doctors. That we are going to have it in the second series in the month of October. And third, in the financial management insight, we are going to talk about, the expert is going to talk about, can insurance policies ensure your financial security? So doctor, very interesting topic. We took the feedbacks from many of doctors like you to have what is the sessions you need to have. So as such, it has been tailor-made. And the most important thing is, who is going to present this? Today, we have the privilege of financial expert with us, Ms. Chanda Verma with us. Welcome, Ms. Chanda Verma. Ms. Chanda Verma is a Senior Vice President and a Financial Coach and Head for Doctor Practice in MFA Capital Private Limited. Her experience talks about her expertise because she is a management graduate and a certified financial planner with more than 18 years of experience in the financial service industry. Ms. Chandavama, for the last year, she's been associated with MFA. She has specialized in managing doctors, business owners, corporate executive in the areas of financial literacy, coaching, goal-based investing, and client servicing. And she's passionate about financial literacy and has created engaging content such as podcast, video, article, and many case studies. Her previous role is she has earlier have experience with HSBC as a manager internal audit, and she has also had a stint with GE Money, a location credit manager in personal loans in Mumbai. Now, with Ms. Chinda Verma, the financial expert available with us, I believe today's session we are going to have a great evening because she is going to provide many things which as a KOL, because doctors we are associated with you for generations together, more than 2-3 decades. What is most important is there are some areas which we need to take the information from an expert. So, Ms. Chanda, it's happy that you joined with us today. Before I leave the floor to you, my Senior Vice President, Mr. Sirish Samak, is available. He would say a few words and so that you can take the floor. Thank you.
Sure.
Please.
Yeah. I said I wouldn't like to take any more time because I'm sure doctors would be waiting to hear from Ms. Verma. I straight away hand over the session to you. And like Vignesh said, you are the domain expert and request you to guide us regarding the way forward. Thank you very much, and it's over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you all of you for the warm introduction and also the very warm welcome that you've given me. It's a pleasure to be on this platform, honestly, and we are very happy to come with our expertise and our experience on this platform for all the people who've joined in, especially because we've been working with the doctors community for last 2 decades now. So we'll begin. So welcome to this webinar, and the key highlights is going to be that we're going to talk about why a doctor's financial life cycle is unique. And trust me, having met more than 5,000 doctors, I can tell you that it has been an enriching yet a tough experience with doctor community. And secondly, what would be the financial priorities and solutions for each life stage, as we have seen having interacted with so many doctors. But before I do that, I think it's very important for me to quickly give you an idea what MFA Capital is all about, because then you will understand why this topic and why MFA. Okay. So we are a niche firm. We are a goal-based investing firm. We started in 2005, which means we are going to complete 20 years next year in May. And the unique thing about us is that we are the only firm which has a special practice for doctors. We have a specialized team only catering to the personal finance need of doctors, helping them make prudent and informed decisions about money. Now, our motto is very simple. It is, we will take care of your money as we would take care of our parents or best friends' money. So in a very simple language, for our doctor clients, we are their family doctors, only in the area of money matters. And having built this trust over the last 20 years, now we have grown through word of mouth, and we have assets under management worth 3,500 crores. We have 500 plus families as our clients. We have a team of 100 plus people now. We are ISO certified, and we believe a lot in thought leadership, which means we do a lot of column writing. We've written 5 books. We have podcasts. We have financial literacy programs and workshops, and we are present in 17 plus countries. Now, there is this book which was written by our founder, Mr. Amar Pandit, who is a CFA and a CFP as well. This was published by CNBC. More than 1 lakh copies have been printed, and hopefully some of these copies are going to come to you soon through Microlabs. Now, the important thing is that it's not just MFA Capital, but over the last 20 years, we have grown into 2 more companies. So we have Happiness Factory, which is our online platform. This has come from the need that doctors all over the country and also all over the world needed to have a platform where they could easily access their data, but at the same time do not lose essence of the goal-based process that we talk about, which MFA is very well known for. So that's where Happiness Factory came into being. And we also started our own office in US recently in 2021, where people from Indian origin are able to plan for their investments in US as well as in India. Like I said, financial literacy, we have done it. The depth of our experience comes from our association. So we have done literacy sessions, and we've been associated with Mumbai Oncocare, with Dhabar Cancer Foundation, with Indian Orthopedic Association, with the Western Orthopedic Association, with Urologists Association, Sion Hospital. So a lot of over the last 15-20 years. Now, if I have to start and begin on the topic, okay, now I will have to have talked about this, that usually when I talk about personal finance, and this my experience has been that most doctors think that, okay, now I'm going to get some tip about what stock to buy, or I'm going to get to find out about which are the best mutual funds which are going to give me very good returns over the next 5 years. Or Chanda is going to tell me about when should I time the market, or is the stock market going to go up or it's going to go down? Should I sell my property? Should I buy more gold? All of these questions. And the answer to that is we are not going to discuss any of this today. We are going to go back to basics, because whenever I meet my doctors, the first question I ask them is, what does managing personal finance mean to you? And 99% of the time, the answer that I get is, oh, it's all about, I have surplus, I have to make my investments, I have saved some money, where should I put it? मैं अपना पैसा कहाँ डालूं? कहाँ पे मेरा पैसा सेफ रहेगा लेकिन अच्छा बढ़ेगा भी? So doctors, the first important thing is that personal finance is not about planning कहाँ पैसा डालूं. Yeah, it is not also about मुझे टैक्स बचाना है तो मैं क्या करूं. This is what a very general overall people's thinking about personal finance is. In fact, personal finance is a 7-step process, which I'm going to talk to you about. And the culmination of this process is then, kahan paisa dalu? Kaise tax bachaun? So all the products, where to put in the money comes at the last. And a 7-step process comes first. This is pretty much, doctors, I think you would understand this, because this is pretty much the way you guys do your work in your daily life. When a client, when a patient comes to you, what do? There is a plan, there is a process, there's a product that you follow. This is the process you follow. You first understand the patient's history. You don't see a patient and go, okay, these are the medicines that you have to take, or, oh, this is the operation that you have to go ahead and do. You don't do that. You first try and understand your patient. Then you try to run some tests. You try to find out what the problem is. You ask them questions. You try and understand and gauge the situation. And finally, you diagnose first, and then you prescribe a treatment. Pretty much in our industry, this process is not followed, and people completely jump into buying a product. But what is required to be done is, first you have to understand, when it comes to investment, what are those things in my doctor's life, what he wants to plan for, because certain milestones are going to come in, whether we like it or not, whether it is we want to set up a clinic, or whether it is we want to buy an equipment, or whether it is we want a new house, or whether it is it's about a child's education, or it is about moving abroad. Whatever be the thing that you want to achieve in your life, you have to understand that you are earning and saving to achieve these goals. So let's first sit and understand those goals. Then comes understanding, what have you done till now? It's like doing a medical test, because we need to figure out where we need to go. You need to first understand, where have you put in the money? Have you done enough savings? Have you secured your family in terms of right insurance cover before you jump into looking at what your investments are going to be? So there is a checkup that needs to be done. And once this checkup is done, a proper plan is made for each doctor, customized to arrive at the right investment mix, which is required for his life goals. To help you understand this, if there is one particular medicine which works on a patient, maybe it could be my mother, it does not mean that same medicine is going to work for me for the same problem, right? Because everyone is different. Everyone's body is different. So one shoe doesn't fit all. Similarly, for each doctor, depending upon his risk appetite, his time horizon of the goals he has in his life, and also what he has done till now, where he has invested till now, or what assets he's gathered till now, based on his age, based on his life's financial situation. That is how we come and make a customized plan for each doctor. And this is what is called as personal finance goal-based investing. And this is required at each stage in your life. Okay. Now, why is this important? It is as important as having a right doctor in your life. I am sure all of you will agree with this picture that I have put forward on the screen, because I have seen this personally in my life. If I have a health problem, I don't go straight to the doctor. I'm scared. I will first go and do a research. I'll talk to my family. I'll talk to my relatives. They will talk to me about some medicine that worked for them. I probably go to a chemist and he'll tell me, okay, this cough medicine has worked very well. Why don't you try this? And self-prescribed drugs. And after we do all this self-medication, finally we go to the doctor. Pretty much the same we have seen in the space of personal finance too. What people tell us when we talk to doctors is, oh, I have my relative, my father, my brother, my sister, who's very good at managing finance. They're working in a big bank, or they're working in a big asset management company, and they help me manage my finance. Or I approach my chartered accountant for all my needs. Or I have a very good friend, I have a very good colleague who knows everything about finance. I'm a very privileged customer with my bank, so I get a lot of tips from my relationship manager. Also, so many say, oh, I have a patient who's very well placed in this industry, and I get all my tips from him. So these kind of things also we hear, just like you hear in medicine, we hear the same thing in finances. And the result, now I have met more than 5,000 doctors. So I see doctors, and I see doctors who are young. I see doctors who are 60, 65 plus, who have wealth of experience. They have done a lot of investments, yet it's all haphazard. So many doctors do not know that they have physical stocks lying which have not been dematted. There are so many doctors who come to us, which they show us 20, 30 insurance policies they have, and they don't even know who the nominee is or what is going to come out of those insurance policies. We have doctors who come and say, oh, I have a stock portfolio, but there are 100 stocks and I want to, consolidate this portfolio. So everything is there, but it's all haphazard. There is no logic or a well thought out process for it. We see that in doctors, a lot of insurance policies get missold. Also, doctors love real estate. So we have seen, especially in case of certain, faculties where people want to set up their own clinics, or they want to set up their own hospital, they end up buying the property rather than renting it. So a lot of money and, initial part of years go in buying a house or buying a clinic and paying off that loan. We also see that in case of doctors, you're your own asset and you're your own liability. So if anything happens to you, all these life goals, all these investments go for a toss. So are you covered correctly against the inevitable death or against any disability? It's very, very important to cover this first before you get into your goal-based investments. And also we see a large sum is usually left in fixed deposits because it's rather safe than be sorry. So we see doctors that their risk appetite changes a lot in their business, in their profession. They take a lot of risks, but when it comes to money, sometimes their risk appetite, it just does not match their business appetite, right? The business risk appetite. So some of them are very conservative, while some of them can become very aggressive. So it's a mix and match. So it becomes a hodgepodge of investment products. And that's where you need the right doctor in your life to diagnose for you. You need the right financial coach in your life, right? Now, why is the doctor's life cycle unique? And what we've understood after meeting so many doctors is that, look, a corporate executive or a business person or any other working professional at the age of 22, 23, they start working, right? And they start earning. By the time they're 40, it's like they have fatigue. They want to retire at 50. But for a doctor, you start only late. You only start in your late 20s, early 30s. And it's only by the age of 40 that you really start, securing your position in your career. You start settling down in your career. So you've actually lost the first 10 years as compared to other professionals. At the same time, a doctor's life is extremely busy. We talk to doctors only early morning before they start their operations, or we talk to them late night after 9:30 once they've come back home. And usually a doctor marries another doctor. They have busy schedules, no time to discuss anything. Most doctors have told us that they are glorified daily wage earners, because when they operate, when they work, when they consult is when they earn. When they don't do that, they don't earn. And that is the reason why so many doctors tell us that I can't go off on long holidays like 15, 20 days. I lose my patients, my income gets impacted. And this is said by doctors even who are 20 years, 30 years of experience. Another important thing is in doctors, the cash flows are very unpredictable. They're very uneven month on month. It all depends on number of operations that you do or the number of consults you've done. Also, with doctors having a very long study cycle, they are cut off from finance in the initial years. And therefore, a lot of doctors say that although I listen to news, I understand some jargons, it is still Greek and Latin to me. And also for doctors, you have to create your all assets yourself. There's no retirement security like gratuity or EPF like other people have. So you have to manage all your assets yourself for your second innings as well. And therefore, at different life stages, we have tried to divide your priorities. And this is what we know you focus on. So the age 30 to 40, and the audience would have people ranging from 30 to 50 to 60 years of age. And I'm sure you're going to identify with this. When you're in 30 to 40 years of age, it's a learning phase for you. So your earnings are low. You're studying for super specialization. You're doing a lot of courses. You may be thinking of setting up your practice soon as you finish probably a few years of your experience. And also at this age, sometimes you're getting married, you're looking at starting off your family, or you're looking at repaying your loan. It could be an education loan. It could be, an equipment, clinic, home loan, etc. Age 40 to 50 is what we see as the growing years for doctors. Now, this is where you're established yourself as a specialist. You have gained a reputation, you've gained experience. Your income starts rising, but at the same time, it coincides with your lifestyle, where your lifestyle expenses also are rising. This may be also a time when you start taking additional loan, or you start investing in a clinic, and therefore, house is a priority, clinic is a priority. So the loans may also increase. And also this is the time when kids come into your life, right? So you start saving for kids' education as well. Now, 50 to 60 is the golden years. It is your earning area. They are the best earning years. You've established yourself, you've built a goodwill. Hopefully by the time you're 55, 60, you are, you're debt-free, or you're aiming to be debt-free. You also have reached your maximum savings potential. This is, however, also the time that children's higher education needs come into the picture, or you are looking at kids' weddings that would happen. And you also start thinking about, okay, I am doing well, but at some point I will take a step down. I would want to enjoy life. I would want to reduce my workload, whether or not you do it immediately, but you are starting to think about this. And age 60 plus is the preservation stage. Now, this is where you want to work out of choice, not because you have no choice. So you need to know at this time, do I have enough to call it a day? Even if I get no income, am I secure? Am I doing okay? How do I preserve what I have made? These are the questions that I hear from doctors who are in this age group. And then last but not the least, planning for your legacy. What happens to my practice if my kids are not taking over, if my kids have not become doctors, which is a growing trend nowadays. And if I have created that goodwill, and if I have my practice, what happens to this practice? Is there any way I can monetize this? So these are the different priorities we have tried to divide in the different life stages. And now I will address each of them in terms of how should you plan your finances in each of these stages. All right, so when we go with the first stage, age 30 to 40, please note this down, very important, people who are in this age group. First of all, in this age group, no matter what you earn, because I hear young doctors saying, I don't earn anything. Whatever I earn, I just spend. It's hardly anything. It's 50,000 or 1 lakh rupees. Whatever be your income at the age between 30 to 40, thumb rule is 25 to 30% of your income you need to keep aside and save. So if you're earning 100 rupees, immediately 25 rupees should be kept aside, and you should think that, oh, only the balance is what I have earned. Number one. Number two, If this is the time that you're also looking at taking a home loan or you're taking a car loan, ensure that your EMIs are less than or equal to 30% of your income at that point in time. Number 3, you will need to also plan to keep some money aside as a budget in case there is a slowdown in income of your spouse, if there is a birth of a child, or maybe you are going to do a course. And while you're doing the course, you will not be able to earn as much. So then keeping a balance, keeping an emergency budget aside. And at this age, as soon as you start earning, start a PPF account. We have seen a lot of doctors who do not have a PPF account, right? So these are the main 4 things that you should take care of when you are in the age group 30 to 40. And I'm going to elaborate further in the slides to come. Now, age 40 to 50. Now, when you are in this age 40 to 50, the first thing you have to think about, now for all the doctors who are probably thinking of having your own hospital or you're having your own practice, you're not attached to only a private hospital and you're not salaried, but you are a consultant or you are your self-owned doctor, then what you need to do is you have to ensure that you create assets in your personal name as well as you create assets in the name of your clinic or your hospital. Because most of the times we have seen that your hospital is your own. So everything that you earn from your clinic or your hospital, you leave it with the clinic or with the proprietorship account or with the partnership account. You don't take any money back in your personal name because you're trying to build your practice. It's going to give you the maximum returns. But the important point is that you need to keep it separate, and a part of your income, you have to bring it back to your personal account and start investing in your personal name as well as in the name of your clinic. Number 2, your income will go up. As your income grows up, start increasing your investment at least by 10% every year. Okay. Now, again, this is a time that your loans may increase. You may buy a bigger house. Your loan amount will increase. Try and limit debt to not more than 50% of your net income. Very, very important. Another very important thing is term cover. Now, what happens is when I talk about insurance with doctors, immediately they'll talk about, oh, I have a money back policy. I have a ULIP policy. I have a policy which will provide for my child's education when he's 18 or 20 years of age. No, the most important policy that you need is a term life cover. That is the name, a term life cover. And that is the insurance cover that you should have. How much should that cover be? Well, there are calculations that will help you determine what is the right amount of term cover so that in case anything happens to you, your family is well taken care of, which doesn't happen with any other policy. Only a term policy ensures that your family is totally taken care of. And there is also something called as a MWP Act, under which you have to ensure your term cover policy. Now, another important thing is that if at this stage of your life, you only have property, maybe it's only your house and your clinic, or you have bought another property which is on rent, understand you need to diversify. You need to create more liquid investment products in your financial life. All right. This I will discuss again in detail. If you're in the age group 50 to 60 years, now what should you focus on here? First is paying off all the loans becomes a priority. So how do you plan for that? At this point in time, start doing your retirement calculation. This is your growing year. These are your best years, your earning years. That means that this is the time you prepare to figure out where will you be at the age of 60, 65 in case you want to start taking a step back. Also, this is the time when you're earning the max. So try and maximize your savings and maximize your investments. What I'm saying is don't try to maximize your returns because that's not in your hands. Maximize your savings. Do not at this point take up any unnecessary insurance policies. At this, we have heard so many doctors who say, oh, my patient comes to me or my bank manager comes to me and says that, oh, I need to achieve my goal. Please, can you help me by taking up this insurance policy or just by investing in this ULIP policy, which is anyways investing in market. Please, at this point in time, no means no. You only need a term cover. You don't need any unnecessary insurance policies. And this is also the time that you must, doctors must make a will. We have a will format, and at any point in time in our personal interaction, we will be able to share that with you. Absolutely important at the age of 50 to 60 years. And once you are 60 plus years, this is the time that no new debt, all debt should be repaid. You are working because you want to focus on your financial freedom. So 60 plus, you can work till 80, you can work till 85. I know so many doctors who do that, but they do that for the joy of it, right? Because they are financially free. They don't need to work for 17 hours. They don't need to work for, 6 days a week. They are able to slow down. And here they are also able to think about whether their practice can be given up to somebody. Can they sell their practice? Can they rent it out? Can they have royalty? Different options of slowing down are discussed with doctors in this age group. And we also look at succession planning and valuation of their practice for them. So at different age groups, the focus becomes different. Now let's take each of this age group one by one. So doctors who are in that age group will be able to understand better. Now for the age group 30 to 40 years, like I said, you have to think of nothing. You only have to think 25% of my income I have to invest. So I have come here with a very simple explanation of what happens when you just look at saving this money. The power of compounding that we have learned in school works for you beautifully at this age group. Let's say you invest only 25,000 rupees per month. Okay. And I have assumed a returns of 12% every year on this money over a long-term period. You start investing at the age of 30 and you don't look at this money at all. You say, this is the money which is for my future. In 10 years, this money has grown only to 48 lakhs. And you feel, kya hai ye? 50 saal, when you are 50 years of age, it has grown more than 1 crore. And see the beauty in the next 10 years. From 50 to 60, straight away the jump to 5 crores. You've kept 25,000 aside. You said, I don't want to see this money at all. This I will increase, but this 25,000 I'm leaving aside. In 30 years, it has become 5 crores. The power of compounding is actually seen in this last 10 years where the corpus has actually tripled. This is what you will see if you start investing early in this age group. So this is the only lesson you need to learn at this age. Just invest 25% of whatever you are earning for the next 30 years. Okay, so start early, start small, stay invested, and you will see this happening for you as we have seen for our doctors. Now, if we go to age 40 to 50 years, at the age 40 to 50 years, the most important is, like I said, different goals come into your life. Like you've started a family, so your kids are young. That would probably be the major, most important goal for you. So for this goal, first important thing is you have to manage your cash flows. How do you do that? You might have to do this exercise for yourself. So just note down what I'm doing. Maybe take a screenshot of the slide. Write down what your income per month is. So you may need to, now income goes up and down, but you get an average idea of your income. So let's say it is 10 lakh rupees a month. Maybe you have some other income, rent, you have it or you don't have it. This is an example. Then you look at the expenses. You have an EMI going, you have tax going, you have monthly living expenses which are there. You have an insurance premium to pay. You have salaries to pay, maybe for the people who are there in your clinic, or maybe it's the people who are working in your house. And you have sundry other expenses. So you need to note down typically on an average, what are the expenses that you have? And then you realize, okay, what is there for the savings that I have each month? The limited, it can be the most conservative number that you take. Now, assuming that you have 5 lakh rupees saving per month, now you need to divide this towards your important goals. Now, why is this important? I'll tell you. I meet doctors and I ask them, oh doctor, so are you saving every month some amount and are you investing an amount every month? And they'll say, yes. I'll say, so how much? Oh, I'm doing about 80,000 rupees to 1 lakh, 1,50,000 rupees a month. And then I ask them, so why 1,50,000 or why 1 lakh? Why not 2 lakh? Why not 50,000? How did you come to that figure? And their reply usually is, I don't know. I didn't think about it. I just went with an amount which is comfortable. That is where this cash flow management comes into the picture, because you actually know how much money you save and how much can you really channelize well. So if you're saving 5 lakh rupees, how much can this help you in achieving your goals? Now, I have taken 2 goals here. That you have an elder child, you have 2 children, and you have to provide for their education. Let's say we are looking at education of this child at the age of 18 years of age. So as of today, the education abroad, as the trend is, for 4 years at the age of 18 comes to about 40 lakhs a year. Let's say the child is 12 or 13 years of age, you're about 40, 50 years of age. So your goal is going to come in 5 years. So this is how a goal-based plan works. The amount that you need, when would you need this amount? You will need it in 5 years, but you won't need the entire amount together. You will need it each year over the next 4 to 5 years. However, the inflation is there. So the fees is going to increase every year, just like rent increases, just like our expenses increase. So that means 40 lakhs into 4 years is 1.6 crore. But that is not what you need to accumulate. Keeping the inflation of fees in mind, you actually have to provide for 2.3 crores. Okay, so this is the goal that you have to plan for. So if I want to provide for 2.3 crores at this point in time, what is the savings I need? Let's break this down now. You have 5 lakh rupees that you're saving every month. Out of 5 lakhs, a 2.8 lakhs a month, if you save and invest in the form of a SIP, you will achieve the goal that you are looking for. All right. Let's say you have another child, okay, and his goal will also come up when he is age 18 years. In that case, let's say that goal is coming in the next 7 years, then you need only 1.8 lakhs a month to provide for the entire education goal that will come up in 7 years. So you have, so 2.8 plus 1.8, close to about 5, a little more than 5. So what happens is you understand how much you need to save, and this saving is going to achieve a particular goal for you without you getting affected by any other changes in your life. So this is the clarity that you'll get when you will do a cash flow management and when you break down your goals in this particular manner. So this goal also can be easily achieved. So when you're in the age of 40 to 50, this is the thing that you need to sit with first. Now I'll go to an example for age 50 to 60. Now in this age, like I said, retirement calculation becomes extremely important. Let's take an example. Let's say you're 60 years of age. You say that by the time I'm 65, I should be in a position that I am able to sit back. Can I retire? The question is, can I retire? Let's find out if I am financially free. Now, we always work with a life expectancy of 90 years. So we assume that whatever you save and earn, it should last you till age 90 without you being impacted at all. Your lifestyle should remain the same. And let's say you say, ki Chanda, considering that, there is inflation in the economy and, I may not earn anything, I should have at least 5 lakh rupees coming to me every month as my earning, as my retirement money, so that I am very well taken care of. I have no other problems to take care of. Now, this 5 lakh, we have to understand that is something called as inflation again, right? So what I need 5 lakh today, I will need much more 10 years down the line because the value of money is going to erode. So this shows me that in 5 years, the 5 lakh today, what I need to plan for is 6 lakh 50. At the age of 65, I will need 6 lakh 50 to retire. This means that the corpus I need to create for my retirement is 10 crore rupees. Now, this is the calculation that we do for our doctors. And this is changing. It depends upon what the doctor wants. This can keep on. We can do a number of permutation combinations. We can do different life situations. We add a lot of, there may be a rent income coming in, or there must be a medical corpus that is required. We do a lot of changes and do a retirement calculation for our doctors. But this is a very basic calculation that I'm showing you. So let's say the doctor says, oh, it's 10 crores, and okay, in the next 5 years, we are able to manage creating a corpus of 10 crores. Now, how does this help him in retirement? How does he get the feeling that, oh, with 10 crores, it's okay for me to hang up my boots if I want to, whether voluntarily or involuntarily? Let's see how this works. Let's say you're 65 years of age and you have created a 10 crore corpus. Considering that you will need 6,50,000 rupees per month, you are withdrawing 78 lakhs a year. Okay. In the second year, there is inflation. So instead of 78 lakhs, you are withdrawing 82 lakh rupees. But your corpus is still growing because you're only removing that much money that you need. The remaining corpus is being very well managed to be able to achieve a good return for you, which is over and above the inflation. Year 3, again, your need increases, but your savings and corpus are also being managed well. And this continues for the next 25 years. And that is the process that we have built in to manage this for you dynamically every year for your retirement. By the time you're 90 years of age, it is possible, theoretically, that you are withdrawing more than 2 crore rupees considering inflation. Yet, your corpus of 10 crore remains intact. So you're only living off the interest or the dividend or the saving or the earnings that you have generated on your corpus. This is protection of your capital. Now, this has to be achieved in a tax efficient manner. What most people think is, oh, I'll put this money in an FD, I'll earn interest on it. Or I will put this money in something that gives me dividend. But understand the interest and dividend income are taxable. And those are not very tax efficient methods because they're taxed as per your tax rate. How do you find out solutions where you manage this 10 crore in different buckets such that your tax liability is the lowest, but also your returns on your investment are the most optimum? And that is the calculation that is required to be done, that we are experts at for all our doctors. So this is very important. When we have our one-on-one sessions, we will do this for each of you, customized to your requirements. Now, what is important to understand is, many a times I talk to doctors and, it's very good to understand this, but taking the action, sometimes there is a delay that happens, and the cost of delaying your planning for your important goals is such. Now, let's say you can invest 5 lakh rupees per month. Let's say you decide there's a delay and you take 4 or 5 years to make up your mind and decide that you want to invest. Let's see, if you had invested for 25 years, the 5 lakh rupees per month would have become 95 crores. But if you invest only for 20 years, so there is a gap of only 5 years, which was a delay, you couldn't do it, ABC, life happened. You created a wealth of only 50 crores. Look at the difference in corpus, which is huge. Let's say it is not 5 lakhs because it's a huge amount and you say, okay, I can do only 3 lakh rupees a month. I've got an example for that as well. Look at the difference there as well. The difference is huge because, like I said, the compounding comes in the later stages of your investment cycle. And that is why time in the market is more important than timing the market. Now, to be able to, like I told you now, that we have different stages, we focus on different things for doctors at different stages in their life. How are we able to do this? Now, we are able to do this because the role that we play, like I told you, it's not that I'm not over here to tell my doctors, oh, you have 30 lakhs, 40 lakh rupees, you have 5 lakhs every month to invest. Okay, let's put the money here. No. The idea is, the role that we play is that we will orchestrate. You have different people in your life, right? You have an insurance person who's helping you. You have your bank person who's managing your bank account. You have a CA who's managing all your returns, etc. You have probably a person who's handling some part of your mutual funds or your stock portfolio, correct? Our role is that we are that one point of contact for you who takes a 360-degree view of what you have done. The medical test that I told you about, a fitness check, we take a 360-degree view of your entire financial situation and then look at your personalized achievement of your goals, how to do it. We not only plan for it, we also execute for it, we review it, and we do that for generations. And that's why we have relationships with our doctor clients which transcends generations. We have mothers and fathers, we have their grandparents, we have the kids, we have the entire family invested with us depending upon the goals in their life. We help in debt management. We help in, of course, retirement planning, like I told you. We help in hospital or clinic valuation. We help in facilitating what are the best ways in which you can save on tax and look at better post-tax returns. We are not looking at evading tax. We are not looking at, oh, don't show your income and therefore you'll pay less tax. No, we are looking at post-tax returns maximization. We help in succession planning. We help in real estate analysis. Now, this is a very important criteria because we are not here to tell you don't buy a property, sell a property, buy this property. But property is a very important decision in your life. And how it will impact all the other areas in your life needs to be determined. We have doctors who come to us who say, I want to buy a property, or they say, I want to sell my piece of land, which is in my gaon somewhere. Or they say, I want to build a hospital, so I need to, now start planning on buying some equipment and buying land for it. Now, we do an analysis for the doctors to figure out, okay, what would be the tax implication? Whether if they sell a property, what is the tax that they will be paying? Or should they invest in capital bonds? Just to give them an idea how they should plan the money that they're either going to receive or that they will have to start paying up in case they are buying something. This helps them in ensuring that their other goals are also on track and take appropriate decisions. We also help in planning for contingencies, assessment of all your insurance policies, because this is like the first point that you need to take care of before you start investing. We help in creating assets in the name of your clinic and hospital. We handle all paperwork and all documentation for you. Whether it is, we have clients who've come to us and said, please help me demat my stocks. There are clients who've come to us saying that, oh, I just found out that I have this old investment. I just have a folio number. I don't even know where it is. Can you please help me and get this money out? My kid has become from minor to major. Please help us in, making all the changes in his investment. Everything is handled by us. And any query regarding any financial decision, any investment product, we are the bouncing board. We understand everything. We've gone through the highs and lows in this last 20 years. We understand every product. We have spoken to almost every fund manager. We know all the stocks that are going on, that are there in the market. We are able to have a third-party view, analyze all of them, and give you the pros and cons. We tell you, okay, these are the things that work for you. These are the things that may not work. Now let's take an informed decision about your hard-earned money, because it is your hard-earned money. At the end of the day, it's like your baby. You will not give your baby to someone who is just going to promise you that, oh, I'm going to, take the least amount of salary. You're going to give your baby to someone who is ethical, who is going to do the right thing for you, who is accountable, who is going to take decisions in your best interest, who is a person who takes care of your money as if it was your own money, right? So that is the kind of, financial coach you need in your life, and a person who's able to, tell you, oh, if this is right for you, don't rock your boat. But if there is a gap, please, this is exactly what you need to do for yourself. And that is what is called as managing your personal finance. Please understand, just don't jump into a product. You have to take care of all of these things when it comes to personal finance at different life stages in your life. With this, I cover the major portion of the PPT. I'm open to questions, but before that, I would like to run a poll. Please, someone
Yes.
poll for us.
So thank you so much, Madam Chanda. That was a wonderful session. Though I am not a doctor, I've got to know many things today. It's quite interesting.
It's a lot of information, but it's a lot of information. We try to bifurcate in different age groups, but this only works when you're able to sit with the person face to face and understand their their situation, customized to their needs.
Yes, excellent. So For sure, I'm going to refer for some of my doctor friends to, that I have in my circle, because this is quite informative. The person like me who doesn't understand the finances is able to understand it. The person who is actually going through the things would definitely connect
Correct.
pretty much. That was an excellent session.
Thank you.
So, dear audience, I first of all thank everyone for giving excellent responses in between. Now you have a poll session wherein a question is being raised with a question with an options given there. So this is the first question that you have. So your time starts now to answer the question. The very first question that you have received today is, do you want to have a one-to-one session with our financial coaches? Okay, 100% of them would love. Okay, that's great. So we have received 33.3% saying yes, they would definitely now want it. Oh yes, now it's raised to 54%, and there are 45% of people who wants to consider by the interaction with you on a later stages. They wanted to dwell out this complete session once again. Right. Thank you so much, audience. Now here comes the second question for you. Did the session meet the objectives set and your expectations? Your time starts now. Excellent. We've received 60.87% yes, 34% as maybe later. Oh, perfect. Now we've received 100% yes as an excellent thing. Right.
Super.
So the audience is wonderfully responding, and thank you so much for the wonderful responses, audience. Thank you so much. Now here comes. Now I'm just closing the session now. Over to you, Vignesh and Sir Shirish, to give a vote of thanks to Madam. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think it was a wonderful session. I think especially the way you basketed it off, I think probably that's something which is, I think that's something which hits people, that have I missed out something or am I at the right time doing the right things? I think it was wonderful. Thank you very much. I think this is making me look forward for the next session. I don't think anybody would want to miss out on this thing. Thank you very much. And thank you, doctors. We do understand it's a weekend and you spared your time with us. I'm absolutely sure you found it useful. Since I have a huge number of doctors available here, just would like to take one more minute of your time to just update you on the latest initiative that we have taken from Kasyan One. I think all of you know that we started off Salt Satyagraha, an initiative basically to bring in the awareness on the dietary salt, on the need of reducing the dietary salt consumption. As a way forward into this, we have started off signing a petition from around 50,000 doctors across the country, which we would want to take it to the relevant authorities to bring in a logo on all packaged food items, which would give clarity on the concentration of salt in those respective foods. I'm sure you being a partner with us in this, you signing the petition for us will really help us to take it to the relevant authorities and try our best to bring in a logo on all food, packaged food materials. Thank you very much. My colleagues will be in touch with you in the next week to 10 days time. Sincerely request you to be part of this initiative. Thank you very much, and thanks for being a part of this program. And in advance, thanks for signing the petition on our behalf on us. Vignesh, would you want to add something?
Yeah. I think you have covered up everything, but I think now I found one query from Dr. Jignesh Rathod, put it in the panel. I believe our expert is able to view it. what you have to say about emergency fund and how much doctors have to keep with them with respect to keep and what is that written I couldn't understand, so that it can grow simultaneously. Ms. Chanda, I think you are able to go through that question.
I'll just check the question.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so emergency fund to calculate typically is, the first step is you have to first calculate what are your personal expenses and what are your clinic expenses. If you have a clinic, calculate your clinic expenses separately, calculate your personal monthly expenses separately. So let's say my personal monthly expense, which I have to do, irrespective of the fact whether I work or not. Maybe I've had an accident and I'm at home for 1 month. I still have to make certain payments. So let's say that money is about 2 lakh rupees a month. 2 lakh into 6 months minimum. Okay, so 12 lakhs is my minimum emergency budget. Now, depending upon your specialty, you can make it 6 months or you can make it 8 months or 12 months. So that should be your emergency corpus. Now, the emergency corpus typically should be kept with in a mutual fund parlance, there is something called as an arbitrage fund. Arbitrage fund is like a savings account in a banking scenario. Okay, so arbitrage fund is where we use to park any money which is going to be your emergency fund. There is also a concept called as liquid fund. Liquid fund is also where you park your money for emergency. Now, both these funds, understand, when you're looking at emergency money or contingency money, you're not looking at this money to earn double-digit returns. This money is for your safety. It's for your security. And so where there is safety and security, you're not going to get double-digit returns. You're going to get 5%, 6%, 4%. Those are the kind of returns you'll get. But the idea is that you are earmarking this money, keeping it aside in a liquid or an arbitrage fund. Sometimes people also end up keeping some amount in your FDs, or they also have an OD facility on their bank account. All of these are examples of your contingency fund alternatives. But the calculation is whatever is your expense, multiply it by minimum 6 months and keep it aside. The moment you remove money out of it, replenish it. That's what I do. And this also helps because sometimes, let's say there is something like a COVID happened and there was a dip in the market. And if I have kept a contingency bucket, I can use some money and invest at that point in time and get the lows of the market. So contingency helps in different ways for different people.
Mr. Chandra, there is one query before we log off. At different age group, would you recommend a different financial investment, or is there any set rule which we can follow throughout the career, right? I mean, it's a doctor or any private professional like that. Right from my early days till I get retirement, is it the same setup? There are some investment you would recommend, like for example, PPF or something else. Would you recommend this people have to religiously stick upon for, let us say, 20 years, 30 years with a fixed goal in our mind? To just make it simple.
The voice is not very clear. What you're asking is if the...
Like what I'm trying to ask is, I hope I'm audible now. What I'm trying to ask is, all the age group, what would be few investment you would say, irrespective of which cycle you are in your age group? These are the 3 or 2 investments which you keep doing it religiously.
So PPF is one you should always put in money, because PPF is like your, it is fully tax efficient. There's no tax on it as of today. As per the government rules right now, it is fully tax free. So it is a good backup for you, although the interest rates are low, but 7.1% is what you get on it. It is something safe. PPF to karna hi karna hai. Do it for yourself, your wife, do it in the name of your kids. As soon as your kids are born, you can do PPF. That is one. Second is investing regularly in the form of SIP in mutual funds. Now, which mutual funds to invest is another whole ball game. It's another big animal to tackle. But always remember, a SIP in mutual funds is the way to grow your money. You remember, पुराने ज़माने में छोटा-छोटा पैसा निकाल के अपनी mother या grandmother used to keep aside and then it would grow, right? That is what SIP does. That is what SIP does, and that's where the compounding really works. So ये दो चीजें तो करनी ही करनी है.
Yeah, one is CPF, another one is SIP. Yeah, there is a query from a doctor: how to decide how much loan one can or should take to buy a home?
So see, when you take a home loan, think of taking a home loan. Usually you get only about 80 to 85% of the value. The balance you have to have the money. So अगर आपका 5 crore का घर है, तो only about 85, maximum maybe about 85% is the loan you will get. Now there is a back calculation that we do. If this is the loan amount you'll take, and let's say you take the loan for 20 years, then what is the EMI that you will have to pay? Let's say your loan is about 2 crore rupees. 2 crore ka loan aapne liya hai, and for 20 years, so your EMI will probably come to about 2.5 lakh a month. Okay. If your EMI is 2.5 lakh a month, what is your earning? So let's say your earning is 5 lakh rupees. So 2.5 lakh a month is 50% of your income. So you have to then figure whether this is, comfortable for you or not. So a back calculation has helped a lot of our doctors sometimes to postpone their decision because they realize that, okay, some other goal is more important right now. Maybe I don't need to buy right now. Or they can also plan in such a way that they say, okay, to create this 15% that I have to put upfront to get an 85% loan, I need to plan for that. So let me plan for that for the next 2 years. And then I will look at buying a house. And maybe at that time, when my income increases, I'll be able to afford the EMI. So a back calculation always helps. Always keep in your mind, even a home loan company will not give you a loan where आपका 60-70% से ज़्यादा हो रहा है. Income to the EMI to income ratio is more than 60-70%. They'll only not give you the loan. So that calculation always has to be kept in mind. You're on mute.
I hope I'm audible now, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Chanda. Actually, what happened is now it's not only for HCPs. Almost whatever you are giving us the insight, it is giving clarity at every level to all of us. So, the session has lasted for more than an hour. It's a weekend, so we need to leave you at this point. And again, we join with you maybe next month. What we will try to do, we go back to our HCPs who have attended this program, take their queries and share with you so that you can answer them in the next session.
Sounds good.
I think
Sounds good.